The 13th juz of Quran al-Kareem covers the rest of Surah Yusuf from verse 53 all the way to the end, verse 111, then covers the entirety of Surah Al-Ra'd, 43 ayahs, and also covers Surah Ibrahim until verse 52. There are a lot of points to cover in this Juz al-Mubarakah, but since we are so short of time, we only cover maybe three most important ayahs. Of course, all ayats of Quran are important, but maybe they are most suitable to the situation and circumstances. The first ayah that comes to mind is the ayah 53 of Surah Yusuf. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ma ubarri'u nafsi inna an-nafsa la'ammaratun bis-su' illa ma rahima rabbi inna rabbi ghafurun rahim. The ayah says, I do not acquit myself. I do not consider myself to be innocent. Indeed, the soul, nafs, is persistent enjoiner of evil. لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ, except those upon which my Lord has mercy. Indeed, my Lord is forgiving and merciful. There is a debate about who has said this sentence in the Quran, because we're speaking about the story of Yusuf and Zulaykha. This is about when Azizul Misr caught them together. The last door was unlocked, opened. He saw the situation. The Yusuf's clothes was torn from behind. Zulaykha is behind him. And at that very moment, this sentence is issued, is uttered. There's a debate. Some people say it is uttered by the noble prophet Yusuf himself, that he says, I do not acquit myself. Of course, my soul, my nafs is ever ordering to sue everything bad, except when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mercy upon me. There's another opinion that no, Prophet Yusuf is an infallible person. He is a prophet of God. He cannot commit sins or mistakes. So this sentence is uttered by Zulaykha when he was caught off guard, when she was caught red-handed. She just admitted, yes, I do not acquit myself. I tried to commit this sin, this grave sin, in front of her husband. I tried to commit this grave sin, but it's not just me. Inna an-nafsa la'ammaratun bis-su'. She tried to make an excuse. So that's why I went towards this sin, she said. There's also another opinion here that there's no problem for this sentence to be uttered by Prophet Yusuf. There isn't any problem with his infallibility, because here the noble prophet is trying to show humbleness towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, I didn't commit the sin, but it wasn't except because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed His mercy upon me. If it wasn't because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I would, God forbid, commit that sin. So this is also correct to say, yeah, it was uttered by the noble prophet with this condition, with this explanation. However, regardless of who has uttered this sentence, this ayah is very important and useful for us. Why is that? Because it is something like a true fact for us. We have a soul called Nafsul Ammara. It is ever ordering to sins, everything bad, especially those sins that are joyful. Al-'iyadhu billah. They are in line of our desires, the same thing that Zulaykha asked from the noble prophet. So we have this nafsul ammara. We should escape from this nafs, from the bad things that this nafs order us by going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by saying, A'udhu billah. I take refuge to you, yourself, O Allah. You're the only hope that I have from myself. And the nafsal ammaratun bisu. The second ayah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ عَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَأْتِيَنِي بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْعَلِيمُ الْحَكِيمُ. This ayah is about Prophet Ya'qub, when his second son, Benjamin or Benjamin in Quran, was also held captive in Egypt. You know, it was a plot from the Yusuf. He wanted to keep his brother next to himself, and he plotted something, accused him as thievery to have him right by his side. And also, he actually revealed his identity to Benjamin. And he said that I want to keep you next to myself for the time being. So when they came back, the other brothers came back to Prophet Ya'qub and told him about this story. Ya'qub alayhi salam knew his son Benjamin wasn't a thief. He didn't commit thievery. Instead of being angry, instead of going all out against them, he said what? Sabrun Jamil. What Sabrun Jamil means according to the translation? Patience is most fitting. Patience is most fitting. Perhaps Allah will bring them to me all together. There's a prophecy here from Ya'qub alayhi ala nabiyina wa ala alihi wa alayhi salat was salat. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring them both, meaning Yusuf and Benjamin together. Indeed, it is He who is knowing the wise. Now, what's the benefit of this ayah for us? There was another ayah in a few juz before we recited, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. In short, the ayah says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will indeed test you with different balas. Losing your benefits, your profits, even losing your children, God forbid. Illnesses, different illnesses, incurable illnesses, anything. وَبَشِّرَ الصَّابِرِينَ. The ayah says at the end, but give good tidings to those who are observing patience. Again, in this ayah, the Prophet Ya'qub was observing patience. It was pretty hard for him to tolerate not having Yusuf with him. Now losing Benjamin, another lovely son of his, was very hard for him. فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. Observing patience. The third ayah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنذِرٌ وَلِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ. In this ayah, it is very important. Please pay close attention, dear brothers. The ayah says you are only a warner. Your mission is to give warning to the people. Innama. Just this. And every people, for every people is a guide. It is said that this ayah was revealed to Rasulullah because of, a lot of mu'jizat and miracles that they asked for Rasulullah to prove his prophethood. Told you one of them, it was very interesting that they came to Rasulullah and said, if you are truly a prophet of God, tell this tree to come to us. Explain the story. Then split into half. One half goes back, the other remains here. Then this half also goes and joins the other. These kinds of mu'jizat they asked from the noble Prophet of Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seems to be fed up with the excuses. The ayah comes to say that that's enough. There isn't going to be any other miracles for you. إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنذِرٌ. It's addressing Rasulullah. You are here just to address them, to warn them, give them warning, nothing else. You're not a miracle bringer, mu'jiza bringer all the time, so they can ask you whenever they like it. There's also another point for this second part, وَلِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ. Ibn Abbas, one of the very famous narrators, who was the cousin of Rasulullah, who is accepted by both Shia and Sunni. He is authorized for both. He is valid. Thiqa. He says, when this ayah was revealed to Rasulullah, Rasulullah put his hand on his chest and said, I'm the Mundhir, and also put his hand on the shoulder of Ali alayhi salam and said, you are the Had, you are the guide. We together are helping this society, this ummah. This ayah, وَلِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ, strictly refers to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Thank you for listening. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us strength to observe patience in the face of calamities, catastrophes, and also give us tawfiq to recite ayatul Quran in Ramadan and after Ramadan, ببركة صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.